In this Blender tutorial, you are going to see about the tricks and techniques how to perfectly 3D model apartment exterior, and the texture and HDRI image I used in this video link are given in the description. You can check and download it. First, delete the default object. After that, change the lightning to matte cap. Then bring up line in edit mode. Press RX90 to rotate it. Then select this edge. Press G is at 0.5 to move it up slightly. Then add a center loop cut here. Then add another one loop cut and then bring it above. Press Control B to bevel slightly, then select everything, press I to insert it, once again insert it and finally insert it. Then press Control plus to increase the selection and then extrude it inside, and then select these faces, slightly extrude it, then select these two faces, extrude it inside. After that, delete this space. By selecting this space, press P, click selection to separate into a new object, then select everything, press I to insert it, and then press Ctrl I to invert selection, extrude it slightly, then select everything, move it inside. After that, if you clearly see, my cursor is in the right position. I mean my cursor in this corner edge, so I can change my transform point to 3D cursor, Shift D to duplicate, S X -1 to flip it. After that, press GY to move it inside slightly. I think this will be good. And then select this edge, press EY to extrude it inside. After that, select this object and this object, press Ctrl J to combine into a single object. Then in edit mode, select everything, press Shift N to recalculate the normals. After that, I am going to add a bevel modifier and the amount will be 0.001. And then right away, I am going to assign the materials. I am going into material preview, and then in the right side corner, click and drag it, change it to shader editor. After that, I'm going to bring the default material, rename it as a window yellow. After that, in here, click plus to create a new slot. After that, click new. I'm going to rename it as a white plastic. Once again, click plus to create a new slot, click new. I'm going to rename it as a window glass. Now in edit mode, I'm going to select these four faces and then select the window glass material. Click assign to assign these four material to the window glass material. Then press hash to hide it. After that, select this face, press Ctrl plus 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then press hash to hide it. Now select everything, select the white plastic material, click assign to assign, press alt hash to unhide it. Now I'm in white plastic material. I'm going to reduce my white color to slightly grayish, and then roughness I think 0.89 will be good. After that, I'm going to bring a noise texture in add menu, then make sure that you enable the node wrangler add-on, then only the shortcut key will work. By selecting this node, press Ctrl T to connect it with texture coordinates and the mapping, connect the object to the mapping vector, and then noise texture factor to the normal, and then bring the bump node to give it a realistic bump look. We can clearly see the changes here, detail to 15, roughness will be 0.750 will be good. I'm going to reduce my strength up to 0.1. I think this will be white plastic, right? So I think 0.75 will be good here. Yes, I think I'm going to increase the scale, then will be good. After that, select these four nodes, press Ctrl C to copy. After that, go to the window yellow, then press Ctrl V to paste it, then connect the bump normal to the normal. After that, increase the roughness to 1. After that, select this noise texture, press Ctrl Shift D to duplicate it with the connecting wire. If I just Shift D to duplicate, it won't connect with any wire, so that's why. After that, connect the factor to the base color and then bring the color ramp, place it here. Then I'm going to move my black value here and then white value nearby as much as I can. I think this will be good. Scale I'm going to reduce up to 1 will be fine. Then I'm going to duplicate this, place it here, and then duplicate the bump node, connect it here, connect the factor to the factor, and then color to the height so I can clearly see the changes. After that, in here I'm going to change this as a slight yellowish dark color. I think this will be fine. And for the black, I'm going to change this as a dark brown color. This will be perfectly fine. If I increase my strength, we can clearly see the changes. I'm not going to increase my strength so much high. I think 0.15 will be the good. And then select the glass, roughness to 0, transmission to 1, color to black, because I don't want to see what is inside, because after I complete my building, inside my building there will be nothing, just empty, so it will be transparent, so I don't want that. So that's why I have changed my black base color to black. That's all. Now we have successfully completed our window. In solid mode, I'm going to add array modifier, change the number of count to 6, and then factor 1.8 will be good. I need another array modifier. For that, I'm not going to add a new array modifier. I'm going to duplicate this array modifier. In case if you don't, we have option for that. in the arrow mark, we can clearly see we have a duplicate. Just click it, it will duplicate the array modifier. Or we have shortcut key Shift D. So just place your mouse on the array modifier, press Shift D, it will duplicate it. I'm going to change the X factor value to 0 and then Z factor will be 1.8. See, I have it. Now in edit mode, I'm going to add a loop cut here and slightly move it in Y axis before, and then press Shift D to duplicate, right click to place it there, press P selection to separate into a new object. Now select the window, press H to hide it. Now select the new object. In vertex selection, I don't need these vertex, so I'm gonna select it, press X, and then click dissolve vertex, and then I'm going to add the both array modifier. You can click the arrow mark, click apply, or we have a shortcut key Control A. Just place your mouse on the modifier, press Control A, press 1 in numpad. After that, select these 4 vertex, press F to fill. Likewise do the same for these vertex too. After that, select the other vertex and then delete it. Then in object mode, add array modifier, count will be 6, and then factor value 1.8 will be good. Then apply the array modifier, then select these 2 corner vertex, press Ctrl E, and then bridge edge loops to bridge it. Likewise do the same for all the gap in here and then here also, and finally select these Ctrl E bridge edge loops. Then select these vertex, press E, X 1.5 will be good, and then select these vertex, press E, X minus 1.5. By selecting these vertex, I'm going to bring my cursor to the selection. For that, press Shifters cursor to the selection. Then enable the auto merge vertex option. After that, go into top view by pressing 7 in the numpad, select everything, press Shift D, press or reset 90 to rotate it. Because of the auto merge vertex option, I have some extra vertex nearby. Now it is combined into one. After that, I'm going into wireframe and select these vertex, because if I'm in solid mode, if I try to select this column vertex, see, it won't select all these vertex in this column, it select only the single vertex. So that's why I'm going into wireframe mode. I'm going to select this column of this each vertex and then press Shifters cursor to the selection, then select these vertex, duplicate it, press or reset 90. Once again, bring the cursor to the selected vertex, select these vertex, then press Shift D, press or reset 90. And now it looks completely fine, but we can clearly see the normal is in the right position. So select everything, press Shift and to recalculate the normals. Now select the building, right click, set origin to the geometry, then press Shifters cursor to the selection. Now we can clearly see my cursor is in the center of this building and my origin also. Now press Alt H to unhide our window object, then Shift D to duplicate, press SY -1 to flip it. Then select these both window object, then press Shift D to duplicate, press RX 90 to rotate it. After that, hide these 4 side window object and then press 1 in numpad, go into wireframe mode, then select this object. In edit mode, select these vertex and then delete it. Now I'm going to select the each corner vertex here, and before that, in object mode, I'm going into material properties and then remove this all material, click new, rename it as I think blue building. Then once again click plus to create a new slot, click new, rename it as I think cement will be good. Then I have already selected all the 4 corner edges, then slightly press Ctrl B to bevel. I think this will be good. Then add some more loop cuts. I think this will be fine. Now press Ctrl plus to increase the selection. After that, cement material is already selected. Now just click assign. Now the selected faces will be assigned to the cement material. Then in vertex selection, I am going to add a 2 loop cut, because there is a reason. After I added a 2 loop cut, the in between faces will be selected. We can clearly see, if in case in edge selection, if I add 2 loop cuts, it won't select the in between faces. So that's why I'm going to add a 2 loop cut. After that, I'm going to press Alt T, extrude face along normals. It will extrude the selected faces along the normals. Once again insert it and then Alt T, extrude face along normals, and then do the same process once again, because I'm giving it a little bit design. That's all. After that, I'm going to add array modifier, and then count 6 will be good, factor x value 0, and then z will be 1. Now press Alt H, we can clearly see it looks completely fine. After that, apply the array modifier. Remember one thing, whenever you apply your array modifier, sometimes you will have extra vertex, I mean duplicate vertex. So select everything, press M and merge by distance. We can clearly see I have totally extra 400 vertex. Now it is completely removed. Then in front view, in wireframe mode, I don't need these effect here. So by selecting this, I'm going to delete those faces faces. After that, select this gap, press Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. Yeah, now it looks completely fine. Now select this both vertex, I'm going to delete it. After that, select this vertex, slightly move it above, change the transform pivot point to medium point, extrude it and then scale it. Once again extrude it up, extrude and scale it. Again do the process same. I'm just creating a slightly design, so that's all. I think this will be good. Then extrude it and then scale it inside, and then you can just press F to fill it, or if you thought it doesn't look good, then just press Ctrl F and then grid fill. After that, change the offset value and then span value to find which value will be correct for you. Yeah, I think finally I got it. It will be good. Then press Ctrl plus to increase the selection up to here. Then in material properties, already my cement material is selected, so just click assign. So these selected spaces will be assigned to the cement material. If we have a building, definitely we need a door. For that, I'm not going to model a door. First, before that, I'm going to do something. In front view, in edit mode, I'm going to wireframe mode. Then select these vertex, just slightly extrude it below like this. After that, I'm going to select this edge and then delete it. Then select this edge, shift cursor to the selection, and then I'm going to delete this window. If I try to delete, it will delete all these windows because still I have array modifier. So I'm going to apply array modifier. Then in edit mode, I'm going to select this by pressing L because it is a separate object. That's why it is a single object, but it has some separate object. We can clearly see it. So that's why place your mouse over here and then press L to select it. Then delete those spaces. Now make sure that you enable the ArchiMesh add-on. After enable that add-on, press Shift A, mesh. We can clearly see I have ArchiMesh. ArchiMesh is nothing but we will get some completed 3D object, likewise roof, stairs, and even a door also. We need a door, so just click it, we have it. And the door model is parented to this empty, so I can just scale this empty like this. Then press SX to scale it in X axis. There is another important thing I'm going to do. By selecting this cement, if I click select, these spaces also will assign to the cement, but I don't like it. For that, I'm going to add a one loop at here, in every corner. I'm going to add a loop cut here, and then here, sorry, my bad, here, and finally here, and then here. After that, I'm going to select these faces here and then press H to hide it. Then select these faces here, and then here, this one, and then this one, oops, my bad, this one, and then this one. By selecting the blue material, I'm going to click to assign it because in here I just need the blue building material only. I don't need the cement, it doesn't look good, that's why. So Alt H to unhide the selected object. After that, select these bottom corner and select these edges also. Now extrude it and then scale it. I think, yeah, this will be good. Then select this vertex and then bring the cursor here, change the transform pivot point to 3D cursor, then select this vertex, press SX0 to plot it. Likewise, bring the cursor to this one and then select this vertex, press SX0 to plot it. After that, select this edge, press EZ to extrude it down. I think, yeah, up to here will be fine. After that, press shifters cursor to the selection. Now my cursor will be at the center of these selected edges. Then in wireframe mode, I'm going to extrude it down and then press SZ0 to flat it. Then in object mode, I'm going to select these two faces, press P, click selection to separate into a new object. We are going to create a stairs. Now select everything, shift and to recalculate normals, then select these two faces, press P, click selection to separate into a new object, then select this edge. I'm going to press Ctrl B to bevel fully, and then you can reduce the number of loop cuts. For now, we are going to create a stairs. Definitely you are going to learn some super technique. Change the profile type to custom in the pop-up menu and change the preset to steps. You can clearly see within a few seconds we have just created our stairs. After that, select this object. In wireframe mode, select these four vertex, you have to fill. Likewise, select these four vertex, you have to fill. Then select the stairs and the building, press Ctrl J to combine into a single object. After that, I'm going to delete this space. Now it's time to create a material for our building, but we have just another one thing to create an object, but that finally I will do it. Select the window material, just press A to select every node, press Ctrl C to copy, select the building and then delete this node, Ctrl V to paste it. After that, in here, I'm going to change this as a white color slightly. I think this will be completely good. After that, I can reduce the scale 0.5. We can see, yeah, it looks fine. Right click, shade smooth. For me it looks good. And for the blue building, we have to create a new design. Just bring a plane. I'm going to move it here, so I'm going to show you. First I'm going to insert it, store it up, and then change the transform pivot point into medium point, and then just reduce the scale. We have to create this effect to the entire building. For that, definitely we should add more loop cut here, so that means the polygons count will be get so much higher. Don't need that. So you are going to see now interesting technique. What we are going to do is we are going to make a normal map. First select this object, then add an array modifier. After that count 20 will be fine. Then duplicate this modifier. Bring the cursor here. After that add a plane. I'm going to move it to the center. Then just match the scale to the first object. I'm going into top view so I can adjust it. It is not necessary to adjust the same size. We should have the exact same size because that will be good for us when we add a normal map. So that's all. But you can just scale it even further. It is not a big deal. Place your plane above the, after that place your plane above the first object. Then by selecting the plane, I'm going to bring the blue building material, because after creating a normal map I can just easily connect it. So that's why. Okay, first I'm going to bring an image texture, place it here, click new, rename it as a, I think, normal map, and then click and drag it, change the width and height to 4096, enable the 32-bit float, click new image, change the color space to non-color. After that, going into render properties, change it to cycle, because in EV we didn't have the bake. Then another important thing is, whenever you start to bake, don't forget to reduce the samples up to 10, 12 or something like that, or 8 maybe at a lower amount, because if the sample number is high, then it will took more time to bake. So that's why after that in bake option, change the bake type to normal, and then enable the selector to active. First select this object, after that select the plane, and then make sure that you selected the normal map. I mean the image texture. I'm going to change this to UV editor so we can see the changes, and then in the drop down menu I'm going to bring the normal map. Just click bake. It will take just a few seconds to bake it. You can clearly see the percentage here. See, like I said, within a few seconds we have successfully bake our normal map. After that I'm going into shader editor, connect the color to the normal, but we can clearly see I didn't have any changes here. The main reason is because we have to UV unwrap it. And there is another one thing I have to do. For these faces also I need cement material. So in front view wireframe mode, I'm going to select these faces here, and this one also. After successfully selecting these faces, I'm going to select the cement material and click assign to assign it. After that in edit mode, by selecting that cement material, click select, it will select all those faces assigned to the cement material. Press H to hide it, then select everything, press U, UV unwrap, and then minimal stretch will be good. Then go to the blue building material, by select the image texture, press Ctrl T to connect it with texture coordinates and mapping. UV unwrap is good because we just UV unwrap it, so definitely we should connect our UV unwrap to the mapping. The default is good. After that I'm going to increase the scale. 5 will be good, I think so. Then roughness to 1. I'm going to change the base color to slightly bluish. I think, yeah, this will be perfectly fine. After that, bring the normal map and then connect it here, so we will get a slightly little bit bump. Then go to the cement material and then select this node here. Ctrl C to copy. In blue building material, Ctrl V to paste it. Then select these nodes. I'm going to bring it down and select these. I'm going to bring it here. Then move this node aside. Then move these two bump node here, and then connect this normal map normal to here, and then this normal to here. Then press Ctrl C to copy and then paste it here. Then connect the color to the base color. This is the result we will get. We can clearly see we have some dark brown, so it looks like there is some dirt somewhere. I'm going to make this as a slightly dark color. Yeah, I think this looks completely fine. And there is another one important thing. After making your normal map, just make sure that you save your image, because after closing your Blender file, your normal map will be gone. So that's why don't forget to save your normal map after you bake it. Now we have completed the most of the part. There is only one thing remaining. We have to create some design here. For that I will show you what object we are going to create, and I'm going to delete this because I don't need that. In solid mode, just select the building and then select the search, bring the cursor, then select these edges, Shift D to duplicate, right click to place it there, press P, click selection to separate into a new object. Then by selecting the new object, I'm going to convert this as a curve. But before that, right click, set origin to the geometry, then right click, convert to curve. After that, I'm going to bring a plane, then press 2 in numpad to add a subdivision modifier with a level 2. Then in edit mode, by select everything, press M. At center, it will merge all the 4 vertex into one. Then in front view, in edit mode, select everything, select the single vertex. I'm going to move it little bit further from the origin. After that, just extrude it like this and then create a simple design. After creating this, first make sure that your cursor is still in the origin, then select everything. In left side corner, select the spin option. You will have 3 axes. You can click and find which axis is best. For now, X will be the best. Then just click and drag it. We can clearly see the changes. After that, change the angle to 360 degree will be good. Then just apply the subdivision modifier. Press 1 in numpad. Then I'm going to reduce the scale like this. Then in edit mode, select everything. Shift D to duplicate. Press X. 0.6 will be good. Then press Shift Alt 6 times to repeat the action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then right click, set origin to the geometry. Then bring the cursor here and then right click, shade auto smooth. After that, press Shift A, mesh, bring a cube. Then in edit mode, just add a one loop cut here. Then in front view, I'm going to wireframe mode. I'm going to delete these half faces here and then select these vertex and then bring it above and then select these vertex and then move it down slightly. Then select these faces and move it in x-axis. Then I'm going to add a one loop cut here. Then select these. Then select everything. Shift D to duplicate. Just bring it down and place it here. I'm going to select these and slightly move it above and select these. I'm going to bring it down slightly. After that, select this object. I'm going to move it up. Yeah, this will be good. Then select these faces here and then press Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. Then select everything, change the transform pivot point to 3D cursor, Shift D to duplicate, press S, X -1 to flip it. After that, I'm going to select these faces and delete it because I don't need that. Then we can clearly see we have some shading issue because of the normal. Select everything, Shift N to recalculate normal. After that, reduce the scale in Y axis. Then select this face and then this face. Press I to insert it slightly, press Alt T, extrude face along normals to extrude those selected faces through the normals. Now select this object in edit mode, go to select sharp edges. It will select all the sharp edges in the object. Then press Ctrl B and then slightly bevel it. I think this will be good. Then select the both object, Ctrl J to combine into a single object. Then I'm going to add a curve modifier. In the curve modifier object, bring that curve in top view. I'm going to just click and select and then I'm going to move it and place it here. After that, I'm going to add array modifier. Bring the array modifier to the first. Now it will work completely fine. But if you clearly see in here, it is in the curve. It looks like a stretcher, right? The main reason is because whenever you are using a curve modifier, make sure that you have more geometry. Because for this object, I have more geometry. That's why it looks fine. But for this one, I didn't have more geometry. So that's the reason I'm facing this problem. So add so many geometries as much as you can. By going into object mode, now we can clearly see I have some nice curve. So right click, shade smooth. After that, I'm going to increase my count up to I think 16, I think 18. After that, if you see I have only little gap, so I'm not going to increase the count. Instead of increase the count, I'm going to select this curve, press yes to scale and adjust it like this. Yeah, it will be good. Okay, that's all. Now we have successfully completed it. Now I'm going into material preview, shader editor, select this object. I'm going to bring the cement material and then click this option. It will make into a new material. I'm going to just change the color here. Yeah, I think this will be the perfect light white color, or if you want, you can more change the color and adjust with the values. I think I'm going to increase the bump strength. Yeah, 1.58 will be good. Now there is only one thing we have to do. We have to add a texture to our door. I think now only I'm noticing it. I don't know how, but I have messed up with the texture. So I'm going to edit mode. By selecting the cement material, click select and then press H to hide it. Then select everything, UV unwrap and then conformal will be good. I don't know how, but I just messed up. Okay, now it looks perfectly fine. Then by select the door, click new. I'm going to rename it as a wooden door here. Then select the principal BSDF node, press Ctrl Shift T. I'm going to bring these 4 textures. I have given these texture link in the description. You can check and download it. After applying your texture to the door, if your texture isn't applied properly, then select this object in edit mode. Select everything, press UV unwrap, smart UV project. then it will definitely looks good. Then select this material icon, click and drag it, place it to this object, then that material will assign to this object also. Like I said before, after applying the texture, if you have just a dark brown color, that means the texture isn't applied properly, so we have to UV unwrap it. Select everything in edit mode, UV unwrap, smart UV project, then your texture will be work completely fine. Reduce the displacement scale up to 0.010. Then I'm going to bring the RGB curves and then place it here. Just click it, it will create a dot, and then just bring it down slightly. It will make my door a little bit dark. I think I'm going to even reduce my displacement scale up to 0.004, and then I'm going to increase my mapping scale value. I think 1.6 will be good. Select the handle, I'm going to click new and then rename it as a metal. Then just increase the metallic value to 1. After that, I'm going to change the color, will be slightly grayish. After that, I'm going to select my window material and then select these 4 nodes. Press Ctrl C to copy, select the handle, Ctrl V to paste it, bring it here, and then connect the bump normal to the principal normal. Now you have successfully completed our building. Now just press Shift C, it will bring your cursor to the world origin. We can clearly see it. Then I'm going to bring a plane and then just scale it high like this, and then I'm going to bring it down. After that, in the add menu, I'm going to bring the camera and then press Ctrl Alt 0 to place your camera in this view. Then press N in the view, enable the camera to view, then only you can adjust your camera like this. Yeah, this will be fine. I'm going to move my plane like this, then I'm going to disable it and then click new. I'm going to change the color something like this will be good. I'm going into render view and then in world properties, click this yellow dot, environment texture, click open, and then I'm going to bring this HDRI image. Now it's all look completely fine. Now I'm going into render properties and then max sample will be, I think, yeah, 300 will be good. After that, in light path, just click and drag. I'm going to reduce it, disable these 2 options. After that, in performance, I'm going to enable the persistent data. That's all. Now you can just render it. Now we have successfully completed our 3D modeling for apartment exterior. I hope now you will understand the tricks and techniques how you should model it. That's all for this video. I hope you learned something new in this video. If yes, then like it. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe it.